The hunt continues. Can we find a 100% recreated WrestleMania? Let's find out. A few facts. The event took place on April 5th, 1992 in the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis, Indiana. Attendance was 62,167 people. This was Hogan's 7th WrestleMania main event. 26 wrestlers participated at this event. Of course, few rules. I'm only reviewing matches that made TV. I will not be including managers or valets or non-wrestlers. I will not be including custom figures. It must be retail release figures. Let's begin. So WrestleMania 8 match 1 right off the gate is a yes. We can recreate it and it is accurate. There is the Deluxe Aggression Tito. There's the Mattel ringside exclusive Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 8 with the jacket. The only thing you're missing is Sherry. But again, we're not counting that. We're counting the match itself. These two, of course, it would compare very weird because Deluxe are a lot bigger than the Mattel, but you can recreate it. The streak continues. It does. The Undertaker versus Jake the Snake Roberts, and again, another match that we can recreate and is accurate. There's the Undertaker in the attire. Jake the Snake, the Hall of Fame series, is from his WrestleMania 8 match with the Undertaker. So that's a great one right there. Then we're on to the Intercontinental Championship. Bret the Hitman Hart versus Roddy Piper. And again, another one. We're 3 for 3 right now as far as accuracy and recreating it. We have the Piper right there, the belt. Of course, what's interesting is the Bret Hart that came packaged with this figure is the Oval Intercontinental Championship, so you have to hunt down the older one, which does exist in Jakks and Mattel form. Then, man, well, it's not a void match, but it's not accurate, and you can look closely at it. You have Virgil, who's in mostly a red with a white look, whereas his Hasbro figure is mostly white with red details. So we were so close. We were 4 for 4 almost. There's not that many matches in this card, but they all have figures. There's even a Jakks Repo Man. I chose to use the Hasbro one because the only Virgil wrestling attire we have that's not $1 Million Man related is from Hasbro currently. Then we've got the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Macho Man Randy Savage, and again another pay-per-view. Mattel's knocked out of the park with the Series 23 Macho Man and the Retro Fest, a short-lived limited run of just a couple of figures from obviously wrestling video games. I believe Hacksaw Jim Duggan had one of those figures. There was a rocker Shawn Michaels because Marty contract was long gone. So if you want to recreate that match, you've got those two figures in Mattel Elite form. Then we got Tatanka versus Rick Martel, and at first this match wasn't going to be possible, but then again Legend Series 8 popped up, and there's Tatanka in his debut attire. Jakks, of course, did the very hot pink Martel many years ago, so Mattel has not dabbled into another Rick Martel in ages. But maybe one day he will. But this is accurate right here again. So we're off to a really good start with WrestleMania 8. Then we got the 7th match of WrestleMania 8. The Money Inc., the $1 Million Man, and IRS versus the Natural Disasters, Earthquake and Typhoon. And again, spot on. Mattel's knocked out of the park. The Earthquake and Typhoon are getting up to $50, $60, $70 ranges, especially mock. Especially if you're trying to get both of them together. People usually sell them together for higher value. Great figures, great playability. IRS only has one Mattel figure, and it's that one right there. And you can get that for relatively under $20 loose. Maybe mock a little more. Ted DiBiase, again, you gotta love a guy who doesn't really ever change the look, right? Makes it a lot easier. Then we've got Owen Hart versus Skinner. Now this is a controversial one because, well, wait a minute, there's a Hasbro Owen and there's a Hasbro Skinner right there. And while Skinner is pretty accurate, I mean, those are great, those are tan pants compared to blue pants. I would essentially count that, but if you look at Owen, he's wearing a top like singlet thing before he wrestles. And when he takes off, he wrestles in that. This is without it. I'm not going to count the deco, but he's missing a top half of his attire. I understand it's literally based on that attire, and it could just be they cheaped out and decided they didn't want to add the singlet part. But for continuity's sake, I'm going to keep this and say it's not accurate. Then our main event, again, very short WrestleMania, which it was one of the worst WrestleManias, but I'm not going to get into those kind of numbers. But Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice, and you're probably going, well, but Sid has a black attire wrestling figure. Why is that not counted? That's Psycho Sid. So if we were doing a mock view, you'd have to have Hulk Hogan and Sid Justice. The only Sid Justice I know of is his blue attire, basic. So I've included the basic Hogan just to kind of match it. But if if you wanted to say, oh well, no, he fought Psycho Sid. No, he was still Sid Justice in that card. So I didn't count that, even though you could recreate this match, and just say Psycho Sid Justice, which he was. It's the same person. But I'm going for authentic recreation. And even though he's not, even though he's there as Sid Justice, he's not in the proper attire. He's wearing the blue attire from his more Royal Rumble run. So I didn't count it. I might get some flack on that one. But again, it's not Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid. It was Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. Let's see how we did. My gosh, we've done it. The first ever figure recreated WrestleMania is WrestleMania 8. All the wrestlers have figures. We've done it. It took a few videos, but 8 videos in, we finally found a WrestleMania where you can recreate. In fact, kudos to Hasbro. There was 26 people at that show, and they have all 26, 100%. Now, right behind them is Jakks with 24 figures, so they're 2 away. And then Mattel at 22 figures, so they're 4 away. So really, it seems like the toy creators have really focused on creating all the wrestlers from WrestleMania 8, even just maybe by mistake or by accident. I mean, obviously, the 2 we're missing from Jakks and Mattel are Owen Hart and Skinner. And Skinner can still be created. In fact, Jakks almost tackled a Skinner. Owen, though, I don't see Mattel getting the rights to him. Jakks is out of the wrestling figure game at this point. Jazzwares might be able to. Zombie Sailor Toys might snag him. Martha might even start her own wrestling figure production of him. She's not against stuff like that, but not under the WWE banner. So maybe Uncensored might get Owen in the future. But the point is, you can recreate this WrestleMania if you have those figures, if you so desire. Now, is it 100% accurate? No. We're at 66%. And some of you are going to say, well, you're splitting hairs with the Sid Justice thing. But again, if you were mock holding those and you wanted to take a picture of them and they wanted to represent WrestleMania 8, it wasn't Hogan versus Psycho Sid on the card. It was Hulk Hogan versus Sid Justice. So that's my decision, and I'm going to stick to it. But with that being said, I want to thank you for watching, leaving a comment. Check back soon for WrestleMania 9 Redone. Now, this will be the last Redone series. Going forward at 10, I've started recording these as I've been doing like the Redone series. So I'm not going to call it Redone anymore. It's just going to be WrestleMania 10. But again, subscribe, ring the bell, please. I'm not going to make a Patreon out of this. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, if you do this. I will say this, though. For every 15 new subscribers, 50 new subscribers, I will drop the video early. I've already been working on these videos. I'm up to WrestleMania 19 on these videos. I plan to drop them pretty much once a week. I'm only redoing these ones today over the weekend because I had a day off, and I wanted to redo them in the new style before I dropped WrestleMania 10. And after that, it's pretty much once every week. But if I get 50 new subscribers every week and people actually like this, I'll drop it early and whatnot, and I'll just start working on more and more. I've got 37 of these planned, and then I'm gonna leave it up to you guys if if you want to see the Royal Rumble next, which could take some time, or Survivor Series or SummerSlam. And then, of course, if you want, certain pay-per-views or whatever it is, that can come maybe later on. But I want to thank you for watching this, and I'll see you at WrestleMania 9, the Redone Edition.